Hey there, welcome back to another video. Today I'm talking about an astrological birth chart aspect that I actually see a lot in my practice. And it shows up a lot because of what it entails as far as social and romantic relationships go. And that is Venus square to Mars. So, what is Venus and what is Mars, and what does it mean for them to be in a square aspect? Venus is more or less our social and romantic side of our personality. It's kind of our surface feminine qualities, our interests in aesthetics. It's the things that we like and dislike, the things that we want, because want is kind of a feminine expression. Feminine takes, masculine provides. Now, Mars is more about how we get what we want because it's about assertion and aggression and sexual energy and how you would, what your work style is like, how it is that you get what you've already decided you want. Okay. So it's kind of your surface level masculine expression. Now, a square is an angular relationship between two planets, whether they're in the same sign or not, but usually they are, that is at or around 90 degrees. So they typically are in signs that share a modality. So they're either both going to be cardinal or fixed or mutable, but they are at odds with one another in terms of duplicity. So if one of the planets is in air or fire, the other one is going to be in water or earth. So they take on the same roles. They're trying to play the same role whenever they're both engaged, but they have very different styles of doing so. So it leads them toward different kinds of interests and different contexts for expression. Okay. So when someone has this in the birth chart, let's say their Venus is in Taurus, which seeks a lot of stability and security in friendships and relationships, seeks, physical security, also is very sensual. Their Mars, if it's in a square, is going to be in Leo or Aquarius. Let's say it's in Leo. So what that person seeks sexually and what they seek in terms of hobbies and physical exertion, and what they're aimed toward going after is going to take on a more fiery rather than an earthy sort of style. So this person may end up having lots of fiery flings. If it's a woman, let's say, for a woman, she looks for in a man whatever her Mars sign is. But she really needs a feeling of security and comfort in whatever her Venus sign is. Okay, and for men, it's kind of the opposite. He looks for Venus and he expresses more Mars. So a woman with this combination is going to attract fiery partners. Leo, big ego type partners, but is not necessarily, unless there are other complementary things in the chart going on, going to be attracting what her Venus needs and wants. So this is a very difficult, kind of constantly gives you a dilemma about, my wants and where I'm willing to place my energy and my vitality are in different places. They need different outlets, essentially. And so the advice that I have right away for someone who has this is first become aware of what it is that your Venus and your Mars signs represent. What are the needs that come from that? And how can you fulfill both of those things? Because it's indicative of a square relationship between two planets that they're going to butt heads, that they're not really going to get along. They're trying to fulfill the same roles because they're in the same modality, but they have very different styles of doing so. So they walk on each other's feet. You know, I like to say that squared planets are heading in perpendicular directions toward the center of an intersection. And if one does not yield to the other in any case, then they're going to T-bone each other. And if they don't kill each other, they're going to continue to brawl in the street. Okay. So someone's, let's say, romantic needs and sexual needs could really be at odds here. And so the advice that I have right away for someone with this is look at which of those planets is more harmoniously aspected to the rest of your chart, and with whatever partner it is that you're dealing with. Okay. And if the stronger and more harmonious of those two planets is being satisfied, then that should be your more stable go-to thing that you look for in a partner. Okay. Because you're not necessarily going to get everything you need from one person. All right. Maybe you do. Okay. Maybe there are just enough complementary aspects between your chart and someone else's that both things are satisfied in certain ways, right? But so let's say for a woman, it's more likely that she favors her Venus over her Mars in terms of longevity, okay? She needs that Venus to be satisfied herself. She also still has to satisfy her Mars. So the way I would foresee that person doing that in a healthy way is to take that vitality and that sexual energy of Mars and channel it through other things, not necessarily other people. Okay. I'm not advocating for polyamory. I've seen very few cases, none in my personal life, that have actually worked. So I'm not advocating for that. What I'm saying is that sexual energy and creative energy are the same thing. So you can find a creative outlet, some kind of hobby, some kind of other outlet for expressing the Mars side of yourself. And perhaps there are some cases where you can integrate that into your relationship so that those planets can, albeit in different containers, coexist in that one relationship that you're trying to make work. I'm always an advocate for fixing something that exists in your life before you go and make a huge change and try to start over somewhere, because it's not always that easy and it's not always the right thing to do. Sometimes it's a matter of us cowering in the face of challenge and giving up. And that's why we want to start over, when really if we had just turned a few dials to improve little things here and there when we have to, then things would be smoother sailing in the current moment. Okay. So this is one of those aspects in the birth chart that can definitely make people feel like giving up sooner than maybe they should, because maybe there are complementary elements to the other person's personality who we're in a relationship with that could make this square work and give us enough outlets even in one place to make it work. Okay. So that's just a little bit on one of the tougher relationship aspects in a birth chart, and a couple ideas on how to deal with it. So I hope you enjoyed this video on Venus square Mars in the birth chart. See you guys in the next one. Later.